The cacao beans. These are raw.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this what Hershey's and Nestle's give
to make their
the famous coffee? They take this and then they create what they have.
Right.
What they market.
Right.
But actually, if people were smart, they should market and buy this product. Right? And it is hard to work with? You want to say, how do you work with this?
Well, I use it. I grind it in the coffee grinder. I put it on my oatmeal in the morning.
Directly?
That's what I just... See?
And what does it do to you?
Oh, makes me happy.
Does it taste good?
I'm going to send you the dark chocolate.
Don't ask me. I'm just a reporter.
Oh, he's a reporter.
Okay, so what does it do? How does it make it feel? Is it sweet? Is it...
No, it's
not sweet?
It's got nice flavor to it. It's like a crunch, but I know that it's chocolate, so psychologically, the fact that it's cacao is entering my brain and making me very happy.
So the psychological effect on other people is going to be that it doesn't look like, so they're not really going to get that.
Well, no, but I mean, it does have, it will enhance your, raise your serotonin levels. It will make you happy, so it does do that. Yes. And it's just a great way of adding magnesium. Magnesium, yes. And that's very important, especially for women. Especially for women, yeah. So, you wonder why we're having cravings for chocolates, because magnesium levels tend to be low. And chocolate is a great way of...
Yes. Craving chocolate. I crave chocolate.
But your magnesium levels... The best chocolate doesn't have, you could be hormonal, honey.
Yeah.
It's all funny. I never really had, like, craving for chocolate, like, I grew up, like, I was, like, in a salty teeth, like, what was it, like, peanuts, and, like, the dessert that we have at home, always, like, fruits, we never had, like, or my mom would make, it's like, something, we never had cakes and junk, never, it was always, like, really good, so anyway, but as I grew up, I felt, like, more craving for chocolate, but only for dark chocolate, I don't know. And then when I was...
As opposed to the processed chocolate?
Yes, like, as opposed to processed milk, sugary chocolate, I never liked it, never.
So no milk chocolate, because that means it was... What's the difference? If the dark chocolate is raw.
Has to legally.
It's not really raw.
No, it's not raw.
It's not like this.
It's not like that.
But it is.
Something is cooked down. There's a whole very distinct method of producing chocolate and tempering the chocolate. Cooling it at a certain level. Something I would never be able to get into. But with what they do with, like, Hershey's is there's more milk added to it, obviously, and cocoa solids, the whole process.
So we know that the milk is, like, that's the other half of it, right?
Well, it's actually, it's also using, but you know what else? It's also that powdered milk that they're adding to it. They're not adding,
So what happens? Okay, how did they get powdered milk, that ingredient, the bulk ingredient of the people? Where's that from? I mean, originally it's from the cows, right?
It is, but there's obviously a process of...
Are those real cows?
That's a good question.
Are they've been bred from...
I assume that it's just milk that's just gone through a processing plant.
It's not GMO, or I mean RGBH, right?
We have no idea.
Any kind of cow could be shot up with steroids, and who knows what they feed them, with the fungicides, the pesticides, the fertilizers. Okay, so that all goes into the milk, and then what do they do with the milk?
And then what I would imagine, I mean, I've not followed the process myself, but I would assume that it goes to a processing plant where they take the liquid out of the milk and then
I think they cook it. I think what they do is
they pasteurize it first, right?
I think my
it's
mother
definitely pasteurized.
I think they cook it until I think they capture the steam and they do something like the steam actually turn into a powder.
I think it was the late 1800s that somebody invented, and I'm not sure, it may have even been a man by the name of Nestle's, and I think it was, who invented powdered milk.
The first time I had powdered milk, I will never forget that ever. I was in high school. I was like, I was 17. I remember I had the coffee, at the kiosk, the little store, and they didn't have the milk in there. And I said, what is that? And they said, that's milk. And I said, what? And they said, yeah, that's powdered milk. And I said, okay, I'll try it. And I tried it in the coffee. Oh my God, I will never, ever, ever, ever forget. I used to have problems with my stomach. I mean, if you ever learned about my history, I had such for years and years and years. I used to do that too, but I also used to eat small downs when I was,
So you're eating less processed food now?
Oh yeah, 85% of my diet is like raw.
Okay, so you're mostly on a raw diet now?
Yes, okay. Mostly on raw, and that's the solution really. I say that I really healed myself because, I could go the last time I had stomachache, I don't know. But it's like, and even if I do have a stomachache, it's just for a couple of minutes and it goes away.
But you do eat some cooked food?
Yeah, I do. I do. We just like pasta now, but it's still...
What's your diet? You eat mostly...
No, I like to eat more raw. But in the wintertime, I can't, just because I need that warmth.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too.
But I do crave the greens and the
I can't go, if I go one day without eating 10 10 clementines or like, you know, like greens. I have like, you know.
But you can't just eat one clementine.
No, but people think it's one that's okay, no.
I do eat, I can eat one.
Well,
no, I have to pick up and eat 1, 2, 3.
I have other things that I eat.
Right. But it's fine. I mean, I was speaking to one raw foodist and we said, well, what did you eat today? Oh, I had probably about 6 clementine, 10 sun-dried tomatoes. I mean, everything was in groups of, you know, single foods in groups.
Who is this?
This very well-known raw foodist.
Oh, that's good. He's doing the right thing, right?
Like, you know, one food, but right.
I ate today about 10 clementines, 2 apples, a bunch of carrots, just like I just nibbled on carrots. Yeah. I had like, a bunch of what was that? I forget the name. You know this herb that your mother buy?
Fennel?
No, not the fennel. No.
Oh, that's anise?
No, it's not anise. It's not
cilantro.
It's not cilantro. No. I mean, no, because I eat cilantro all the time. So it's bag.
What kind of herb is it?
It was something. Remember, we got the bag of it from the store the other time. It's not sprout. It's not sprout. Like, remember that day because it's like bitter. It has like a bitter flavor.
Green?
Green, very green.
Does it have a stalk? I mean, does it have roots?
No.
Spinach?
I mean, yes, it does.
Arugula?
It's all arugula.
Basil?
Did you had some today?
Yes, I had some today.
I didn't have any. Where is it?
There was just a bunch of left in it.
Oh, I never saw it. I don't know.
But anyway,
I might not even know what it is either.
And I mean, that's what
That's the dishwasher.
Oh,
everything's mechanized. See, we would have a dishwasher.
Yes, of course.
Because I was a professional dishwasher for a while.
Oh, were you? Yeah. Like going to a Chinese restaurant and you order Mu-Shu?
Yeah.
If the Mu-Shu is one color, you can forget the rest of the food.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? If the Mu-Shu if you can see the color of the vegetables, then you know that they care about the quality of it.
Yeah. So which is the sushi that has to have all the colors?
Futomaki.
Futomaki.
Which is it's got egg in it as well. Egg, spinach, avocado, the kampyo, as I said, which is the brown, the daikon pickle, which is the yellow, usually a carrot, a little bit of either fish cake or what is it, crab meat. And, you know, it should be a good size.
I had my first sushi in '89. Well, it's quite young, but to me it's an interesting story. But these days, I'm getting away from sushi. I have to because I wouldn't be a vegetarian if I keep enjoying sushi.
So you're totally vegetarian?
No, not totally, but I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be. Yeah, you're trying to like prevent me.
I can give up on nutrition.
Right,
I will eventually. I will eventually.
Do you want to be vegan?
Then I'll boast about it.
Do you want to be vegan? Do you want to give up the
I don't know. You can give up on cheese and eggs. You're not gonna do
and
that.
The eggs?
My eggs make food.
I'll go to the point where I'll have. By that point, when I'm really a vegetarian, I'll have my own chickens and cows and goats. So where if I can get it from them, then I'll eat it.
Oh, okay.
See, I don't. Vegan is, to me, it's not an ethical thing. It could be ethical, where you have to know the source. Which cows are they being treated right? It's not really ethical to me because.
But vegan is no egg.
It's not an ethical issue.
Yes.
It is okay to do that.
What?
No, to be not vegan.
To be not vegan. Okay.
I think the major reasons for vegan is what? Is nutritional value?
No, well, it depends. I mean, you speak to someone. I heard from someone this year who was the head of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and he grew up on a farm in Nebraska, and yet convinced his mother, and he is completely convinced that the way to health is being completely vegetarian and in fact being vegan. And as he says, he puts it, his father is also vegan.
I'm interested in whereas a lot of people are subconsciously because they're always eating it. They must have an interest. So I'm making a movie about sugar. It's never been done before, except by Willy Wonka. But they never really did just scratching the surface. I really want to know about sugar. Sugar eaters.
Sugar eaters.
Yeah.
That's everybody.
Everybody, all of us.
So anybody could be in the movie.
Coffee drink.
Well, going back in time, let's see. When was sugar discovered? Do you know?
And no, I don't have a good story for that one.
I don't know.
I think Bob could tell us. We'll film Bob and then we'll insert that in.
I somehow have this thing about the East Indies or the West Indies or something, sugar in the West Indies, but say it's been in the last 500 years or so. So before that, nobody ate any sugar.
Now, what do you mean as far as did they discover?
Sugar cane. Yeah.
Really? That was right in the cane?
Processing, I think, didn't start taking place till the 1800s.
But I had cane. You know what cane is, right? You've seen cane. And I've had cane juice, because
Right.
they squeeze it out.
Right.
But there's no sugar in that. They have to do something. You mean they discover the juice? The juice is turned into something. Crystals?
You used to chew on it, right?
Yeah, but that's not sugar. That you can call it sugar, but not sugar that we know in a bag.
No, that's known in a bag as processed sugar. Exactly.
Oh, you mean like the science? Somebody said, that's sugar. It's a chemical. That discovery?
I have, when it started creeping into the diet, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, as sugar itself.
As an additive?
As an additive, as a sweetener.
You mean they used to have cakes 501 years ago with no sugar?
Well, they probably had honey. Think about it. I mean, beets have been around for...
Did they have honey?
honey.
Yeah, well, I became that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had honey when I was young.
Right, but you also didn't, you learn and you start appreciating and you become a food head as you learn these new things.
Food head makes the video, that's why.
That's why I like
agave.
Motivated.
Okay.
I love agave.
Agave, honey,
honey, turbinado, sugar,
stevia?
muscovado.
Stevia?
Stevia leaf is a natural sweetener. It depends what side of the
Because guy's named Steve. Steve doesn't like stevia because he figures he thinks you're joking about it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Stevia.
So let's call it stevia.
Yeah, so stevia. It's from the leaf, right?
It's from the leaf. It's green.
You can even eat the leaf and it's sweet, right?
It is. It is very sweet, I believe. I've never... So ideally, the best stevia for you is the green tincture. Because again, whether you buy in the store, it's usually a white powder, which means then again, of course, it's processed.
That is processed.
Well, it has to be
I've read studies on the sugar, though. The sugar that they get from cane or the beets, or
right, beet sugar, right?
What else? They have a few other things,
mostly
right?
cane and beets.
Mostly cane and beets, which is to me that's bizarre, because when you look at cane and you look at beets, you don't think it's really like sugar. But it is a sugar beet.
Very healthy, but
it's a sugar beet. It's not purple.
Okay.
It's white.
No,
I'm joking. I don't know what it is. No one ever saw it.
I've never seen the sugar beet.
They don't show it to
but
you.
I remember
They just want you to think of sugar.
My mother used to give this to beet juice when we were younger, and because it looks purple, it looks like so yummy, like something like you want to use, especially as a kid, and then you try it and you're like, ooh, but it's very sweet. It's very sweet. It's sweet, but also it's like
earthy.
It's like
got this earthy taste.
It is.
Something like
it is.
Yeah, like, I remember I used to drink a little bit, and I was like, just
and then your hand.
Oh yes, everything. But we eat.
It's good.
I eat raw beets.
Paint with it.
I eat it raw.
Raw beets are wonderful.
Raw beets, yeah, I did that too.
Right, raw beets grated or...
I didn't know you could do that, but I started that. I first started with raw potatoes. I was lazy. I was like on the road.
You're not supposed to eat raw potatoes.
No, you're not.
I think they're like toxic.
No. It doesn't do anything.
No, it's not true.
It doesn't. It's just it's hard to digest.
It's very hard to digest. I think you can use it as a poultice, like to draw out impurities. Like in Japan, Japan, the taro potato, very high in starch, and they would, grate it.
A taro, that's a potato, or is it just a tuber like the daikon radish?
No,
it's a real
potato. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I will eat it raw again and see.
But the problem with potatoes is that they're a simple carbohydrate, which means they turn very quickly to sugar. We're back to sugar.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So no, I don't have anything against sugar per se. But you have to define. There's a lot of different reasons you call it sugar.
Potatoes has it has glucose, or glucose is a simple sugar.
Hold on a second. Oh, now we're getting scientific. Okay.
Sucrose is
they're all simple sugars.
Glucose is in the body. Glucose, as far as I know, glucose doesn't occur naturally.
So everything turns into
it's sucrose, fructose, or some other things.
Maltose.
But see, when you use it in your body, it either becomes glucose or glycogen. Glycogen is like where it's a usable form. And I think it's somehow connected with ADP and ATP, the way the muscles use it. It's sorry, I don't know how they're connected, but they're somehow. And I don't know what ADP is the abbreviation for, but it's energy that the muscle uses, and you have to get it through the blood. The blood has sugar in it, blood sugar.
Yes.
Blood sugar. Oh, diabetics. I thought that diabetic is actually a false disease, and they can treat it, but they don't know how to. But that's what the whole problem is because of sugar.
How would you treat diabetes then?
Well, they have to fast. Okay, they have to fast. They have to meditate because they have a psychological problem. And it's not their, it's because it's just one of the things that the doctors are putting a spell on people.
Yeah.
That's why it's psychological. All this physical,
hold on.
allotropic.
You have to explain what you said because some people can misunderstand you because you have big statements.
So what happens with diabetes is a person comes in and before they start injecting them with the insulin and everything, have some kind of energy issue, right? And they're thirsty. or whatever it is that's happening to them. They're falling asleep. So then they get tested. Oh, we test your blood sugar level it's really high or something, right? It's way off the good range here. So then they say that's because you're diabetic. Well, probably because your family was diabetic or something. Of course, it's always genetic. That's the big reason which would convince people
but
like, oh, because my family. It's not in the family. That's a hoax. And they say, okay, don't change your diet that much, but there's some with the sugars you have to affect. You can still have sugar, but just have a little bit of it because you're diabetic, or they'll tell them to have stuff with like the fake sugar, But rather than just rely on changing your diet and educating yourself, our main treatment because you have diabetes is that we're gonna have you inject a few times a day into different parts of your body because we have manufactured something that's artificial.
Right.
And we have several different brands of this, and that's what you're going to do.
I think that's because doctors, this is how they've been taught to treat it, that they see that there's an illness, and they have the medication to address it. What, holistically, obviously, you look at all the factors that have led up to this situation, and you try to change the factors. You try to change what the person was eating more than what that doctor might say. You try to change their lifestyle, the stress factors in their life. Could be career, something funky could be going on in their life in that way. Could be in a bad relationship.
At that time that the diabetes was diagnosed.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so it's not just diet.
Right.
But, unfortunately, Americans do consume a tremendous amount of sugar. And are not processing that sugar. And really, this trend can be traced back to the 1970s with the creation, as we talked about earlier, of high fructose corn syrup. Now, that's not it alone, but high fructose corn syrup has been steadily added to the diet since that time, and we have the correlation with obesity at the same time.
And sugar. But do you think that sugar...
But high fructose corn syrup is processed differently in the body. Instead of going to the pancreas, which would create insulin, which would release insulin to combat the sugar, even out the body sugar, it goes right to the liver. And then instead the liver sends a signal for it to be stored as fat. So this excess energy is stored as fat. So
sugar is not making people fat.
High fructose corn syrup is contributing to the obesity. So there are other things too. Again, we talked about earlier about processed food and everything else.
It's not just the sugar.
It's not just the sugar.
It's all the processed food.
But you see, to me, the main effect that the sugar has, other than leading inadvertently to the doctor saying that they're diabetic or whatever, there are several other diseases that they
enriched wheat flour contains iron.
Have a habit of diagnosing, but it just generally weakens the immune system.
What? It weakens the immune system.
Having too much sugar, refined sugar.
Do you know that before you fly
causes every kind of disease.
Before you go anywhere and you fly, you don't have any sugar. You don't even have raw fruit juice. The reason being is because you're right. Sugar weakens your immune system and makes you much more susceptible to catching cold. And on an airplane, where the chance of getting a virus is very high anyway because you're in such a closed environment with very little air circulating, having sugar will make you much more vulnerable. So you don't want to have that. So you're absolutely right in that.
So in other words, to get rid of the sugar, just with the rest of, getting rid of the sugar and the rest of the toxic in your body, exercise. Yes, I know. That's it. We talked about it. Yes.
How could that not happen in my lifetime?
Since I've been here, I don't know. I mean,
is it
especially here?
I know, but is it 45 years or 40 years that it rotates or something? Is it like
no, it doesn't.
Is it like a 40-day period that it can be between?
They set it up in Israel when they were going to do it.
It's the lunar calendar, but how is it that it...
but they make decisions too, because it's not just a lunar calendar.
It's always the 25th day of...
They have to coordinate with...
It's always the same day in Israel, the same day every year.
No, actually no. It could be like either Tuesday or Wednesday.
No, but it's the 25th. The 25th of Kislev. Like 25th of December is Christmas because of the.
They started on the full moon, right? It starts right on the full moon.
Well, we start now.
What month is it now? Is it Kislev?
It's Kislev. Yes.
Right so then today is obviously.
Today's the 15th.
But some years are off.
It's October 13th.
There's the 13th.
Okay, no, it's the 12th because it's one day before, right?
Cycle.
Right. Because the first day is the 25th of Kislev, so okay.
Yes.
The night before.
And sometimes. Yes, right. Okay.
Okay.
But sometimes we have. Sometimes we have how do you call it, like when we had another month of the year. Like Shana Mubarak.
Yeah.
On Adar, Adar Purim.
Yeah.
We have 2
How many years? Every how many years?
So every once, I think.
20 years?
No. Every once in 6 years.
Every
6 years?
We had a month.
Yes, every 6 years we had a month.
We had 2 days, don't we?
No, that's
every
because
4 years for leap year.
Every 6
one
years
day.
we add a month.
Is that 2 days? It's 1 day? The 29th? Is it 29th?
Yeah, 1 day every 4 years.
Okay.
But that's different because that's just counting days. When you count lunar cycles, you have to fit them within years. So if this is 13, you have almost 13 months every year. It's almost. So you have a little bit of extra, and then it adds up after about, I guess she's saying 6 years. So it adds up to a full month where it's not going to line up. Where at the beginning of your year is going to be nowhere near the first month of the fiscal year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like then you have to and then go with it. It's like a leap month within a lunar calendar.
Gotcha.
It's a leap month. That's really what you would call it, yeah. See, because I'm an astrologer. I studied astronomy and astrology, so I figured out time and cycles have to do with motions of celestial bodies.
Okay.
The central one being how the Earth spins on its rotation and how it goes around the sun. So it's just dividing it up into like units. So, but what I was trying to figure out is the cycle of the full moon landing on the December 25th is it had to be within your lifetime. I think it's
right, but it had to have been when I was
actually
a kid.
wait a second. So my
So I
logical
want to know how many
conclusion
days.
once every 30. It would be once every 30 years, I think, because wouldn't it? The full moon would be.
Well, what I want to know is how many days of play do you have, where it could be like the earliest it could be and the latest it could be. So obviously any day in between that is a possibility, correct?
Oh, you mean the full moon like being a...
Well, 2 years ago, Hanukkah came at Thanksgiving. And now it's coming at Christmas.
Okay.
So maybe that is a...
When was it last year?
2 years ago. It was... not last year, I don't remember when it was. It was in December.
That's what I'm saying, because in Israel they make this... Well, they added it up and see... Oh yeah, it has to be in that month.
So...
Then it goes 13 months. See, the thing is, you know that a lunar cycle... You know that a lunar cycle is not exactly 30 days.
I have it, yeah. I should have it here with my, Tracy's New Jersey that I used to. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I'm wearing this just because.
I know.
I'm like,
so cute, too.
Yeah, I like
I love this outfit. This is the cutest.
We were trying to figure out if that coat is really fur today. I could swore I thought it was dog fur, and then I really checked it out and I figured
it's not.
It's not.
It's synthetic.
Yeah. No, it's polyester.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's okay.
No, at first
And
I
look,
was
and
like,
mine's not real fur either. Look, mine's no fur.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You have a nice coat. Very warm, huh?
Very warm. This is
like-
this year's
Is it
purchase.
artificial or is
this
it
is
goes
nice.
down?
I think it's got
there?
goose down in it. But that's okay, because the goose wasn't killed to get it down.
I don't know. But
I don't
know
think
what
so.
they do to goose.
No, I
I
think
think
the
they
goose did
smack
shed.
them like really.
Oh, they don't smack
Make it
them, do they?
shake off.
I think they just like...
They put
do
them.
the goose
When they try to fly, they
goose
put the
down.
goose down. Exactly.
Yeah, they do.
These were free-flying goose feathers.
Oh, this is okay.
I don't know.
Great. I love that.
They do that to the
Look,
olive
there
tree.
goes one flying out on the sun. See?
Where'd you go?
We have
2 days.
several pillows with that in
Yeah,
it.
try
We're
it.
Wow.
trying to figure out.
Wait till you get it. It's nice and toasty.
No, those geese are in
Yeah, I'm
cages.
taking the comforter with you.
I like it.
I have something like this in black. Yeah, this is great.
Right? It's nice and warm. This
Wow,
is what you need.
very
for
nice.
Yeah, looks good on you.
Well, thank you.
Big,
I'm not
you
used to.
small size.
I'm not used to like having winter clothes, you know. 'cause
Oh my God! I mean,
in Israel, it's like you never get that cold, you know. The colder it gets,
when
maybe.
I was in Israel, it was freezing cold one year.
Really?
Yeah, I remember snowing in Jerusalem.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
You must be like, because it
It
did.
was 1981.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, sometime in the 80s, I remember that it was
1981.
Snowing.
I was in Jerusalem.
Wow.
Remember I stayed at the King George Hostel or something? Maybe it was near the...
Because in
A hostel in King George, I don't know, is there King George?
in
Yeah.
Jerusalem and in Tel Aviv too.
Yeah, in Jerusalem.
Because it was also snowing in Tel Aviv one day, just a little bit.
Yeah, I was at
University
Universitat Tel Aviv.
of Aviv, that's where I went to school.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I had Rabinovitz with one of my teachers.
Oh, Rabinovitz?
Yeah, Yaakov.
Yaakov Rabinovitz?
Yeah.
How do you what?
Arab-Israeli conflict.
Oh, that's like a big, I mean, I was taking the course in another faculty, but yeah, of course.
He taught me, and Yaakov Roy, I'm sure he's long gone, but Yaakov Roy. And then
Also,
I had Israeli art. I was like, well, what defines Israeli art? That kind of thing. What else do I have? I had Soviet foreign
what?
policy.
What did you
Tel
do?
Aviv.
Oh, so what's like, you took what? I mean, what was
My
the
junior
major?
year. I was
when you
I was
took
a
overseas?
Russian language lit and Soviet. I was a foreign policy major, international relations, Russian language.
Oh,
So I studied
really?
Hebrew. Yeah.
You did that?
That's so
I loved Ulpan.
So how come you didn't go into politics?
You know what I would love to do is
I have a very kind heart. It's hard to be a politician and
Yes.
have a kind heart.
You
And
could
a soft
do
heart.
a non-government
Take-
organization or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
yes, take like
That you run.
I actually wanted to bring peace to the Middle East. That was my dream as a kid. I was called the diplomat in the family.
Well, my strategy is that they just go over there and let everybody kill everybody who wants to be killed. And then they get it out of their system, and then we'll have peace. We got to stop trying to force them to have peace. Just go over there and say, look, you got to use reverse psychology. Okay, so I don't care what you do. Just do this. We don't really care. Because they think over there, in the back of their minds, that the whole world is concerned because they're having a feud. And we are. But the only way to solve it, we don't really care. Just kill all yourselves. And see, they'll eventually stop themselves.
We can't not pay
the tension is set up around this kind of a dichotomy.
It's not well on my phone. It's all right. They always eventually. Yeah, they'll come out. Eventually, there'll be no more feathers in the phone. So
that'll take a while.
It'll take a long. Well, oh, for this, yeah.
We were going to get a goose down comforter. Do you have one?
That would take.
Comforter. They're really great.
Oh, the best. I mean,
so she wants to. We'll probably get one like next month.
I hate my comforter. Oh my God, it is.
We use a lot of thick layers of blankets, like 3 or 4 now.
You know the funny thing that I find
weight.
It's very weird that you know, when you you go and you buy like a comforter, okay, so you get like. If you want to buy sheets too, okay? So you get like, fitted sheet to the bed, right?
Right.
Flat sheet, right? Okay, usually come in sets, 99% of the time, okay? And then like 2 pillowcases.
Yeah.
And then a cover for the comforter.
Oh, they don't have that here.
And I was like,
where's the cover?
Why does it make it whole sense, you know?
separately.
That's so weird. I don't get it, you know?
Well,
like,
that's because of how we treat our beds.
It's like, and this is what I don't think about, because most of the time it's summer, and yet they still think like, winter, like, okay, so
Right.
it's like everywhere you buy a set of, sheets, how do you call that?
But
It will come like,
with a comforter. With a comfort cover.
Comfort cover, yes. And that was the first thing I'll never forget. When I was like, what the, I couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it. I thought it would make a comforter.
Oh, so funny.
We do have a lot of stuff going on here.
Oh, God, this is fake.
But still, I'd say she points out a lot of things, but I'm trying to realize that America's great for things. We should really have the best
Yes, I love America.
multicultural.
It's one of the few countries you can come to and you don't know if the people are Americans or they're visiting.
Yeah, there's a lot
Now,
of
where
that
you go
going
to
on.
another country and you go, oh, they're tourists,
Yes.
Japanese people come here and they're very confused. They don't know who lives here and who's a tourist. So they'll be in Manhattan and ask people, directions, and they're people who are also visiting from Germany or somewhere else in the world.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's kind of neat. Whereas in Japan, you have this homogeneity of, my favorite is you get out of the subway station, you start walking down this hill, and all you see, at least this was 10 years ago, was these, black heads bobbing in a sea of black heads. But now, all the girls have dyed their hair brown and, slightly red, so it's,
okay,
and then you
so
look at the faces and you think, oh, she's Japanese. Yeah, she's Japanese. And they're wearing blue contact lenses and stuff.
You know, the funny thing is that...